If you are DIYing your website and have no idea where to even get started, or if you have already started working on your website, have spent hours, weeks, maybe even months, and feel like you haven't gotten anywhere and you're too embarrassed to show it to anyone, this is the episode for you. So in today's video or episode, however you're listening to this, I am going to tell you 3 things that you should be doing before even getting started with the website build in order to save you time, effort, and even money. In that, even if you are hiring a designer, this is going to help you streamline the process so much easier and make things go so much quicker. My name is Yasmin Robles with Robles Designs, and I create drill-worthy websites and brands for entrepreneurs who are hell-bent on taking over the world. I also have a course specifically on building your website from a blank slate all the way to a finished product, whether that is e-commerce service-based or a blog site, and it's focused on Squarespace. So that is the platform for that course because I take you in depth on how to actually build it out versus just a strategy. We are a small team in Columbus, Ohio, and if you ever need any website help, make sure to reach out. While you're at it, make sure to give us a follow and subscribe, and check out roblesdesigns.com/checklist for a free checklist on everything that your site should have and what you should be building out as you're growing your site. It's going to be super helpful for people who are DIYing especially, or if you just kind of want to make sure that your designer is doing all the right things, then you want to download that checklist. Now let's get into the meat of the content. So the very first thing that you want to make sure you completely understand before even building out your website is understanding the type of website that you want. And this might sound a little silly, but a lot of entrepreneurs, especially if it's their first business, they might not really know. They might want to do all the things, right? So they might not know exactly, is my site an e-commerce site? Is it a service-based site? Or is it a blog? Is it all the things? And you have to choose one of those, and you have to choose which one is your main core offering. So for example, if you really offer services and you on the side you might sell some templates, then your site is mostly a service-based business with like an add-on of e-commerce. But if you sell a ton of products, whether they are downloadables or courses or physical products, and you might have a little blog on a site, you're not actually a blogger. Your site is more of an e-commerce site because you're e-commerce focused. It's basically asking, how are you making your money? Where are you bringing in the most dollars, and which part of your business is basically going to pay the rent, and that's basically the main portion of your website. So when you're getting started, you might want to have a blog, you might have some services like a coaching plan or something that you can offer people, and you might have maybe a mini course. The bulk of your site should be focused in on the service-based aspect. So just keep that in mind and fully wrap your mind around what is the number one thing that you're selling online and what is the number one thing that you want your dream clients to buy from you. Along those lines, you also want to understand the user and how they're getting to your site. So for example, are you going to focus mainly on Instagram and sending people to a freebie that you have and then having them go through the marketing funnel? Or if they hear about you from a networking event, do you want them to go through a specific path on your site? How is it that the site is actually going to support your marketing and make you money? How is it going to help you grow your business? So you want to really wrap your mind around, what is my core offering? What are some secondary, tertiary offerings? So that's going to dictate the type of site you have, whether it's service-based, a blog site, a podcast site, e-commerce, and understanding your user. So where are they coming from and what do they really expect? So if they hear all about your amazing services from a networking event, you might want to continue that journey on your site by talking about your services. The second thing that you want to keep in mind for your website is that you want to have a plan of attack. So you don't want to just jump in and start building everything out with all the bells and whistles that you think you'll need eventually. You want to first decide, am I doing a soft launch or a hard launch? And you can check out one of the previous videos, which will be linked to from wherever you're listening to. So I go into that video explaining what a soft launch is versus a hard launch and the pros and cons. So check that out, but you want to make sure you understand which one you're going to choose. And then if it's a soft launch, which that means it's going to come out in phases, what phases are in the plan? So for example, phase one, is phase one just a coming soon page? And you can also check out another video about what should be on your coming soon page. But if it's just a coming soon page, you can get that up a bit quicker. Let's say you want a somewhat of a small site, maybe a couple of pages talking about your services, about you. Let's say you are a business coach, so you're going to want to talk about maybe the type of offerings that you have and what makes you qualified to offer these to people. So if that's the case, maybe that's your phase one, but you want to have it all planned out and you want to understand what your ultimate goal for the site is. So if you have these big, big dreams, and write those out and then break those into phases. If you're going to be doing a soft launch. If you're going to be doing a hard launch, that just basically means, and you can refer back to one of the previous videos, but that basically means that you're going to have everything completely done and then launch. So have a plan of attack. This also goes into the branding. So you want to make sure that your brand is on point when you're launching your website. But if you have a nice plan, you can start out small, maybe just an icon, maybe just a basic color scheme, or you know the font you want to use but not sure about the logo, so just use the font for now. You want to have a plan for your brand as well so that you can then refer back to your plan, your calendar, as you're building out your site and say, okay, great. So in 3 weeks, I need to have my homepage, about page, contact, and services page done. For now, I can just work on the coming soon page. And my goal in 6 months is to have the internal course built out on my website. Whatever your goals are, you want to make sure that you have it all planned out, because if you don't, you're going to, let's say you could have just started with a coming soon page, and then you dove in and you started creating this whole internal course service thing when you don't even have a following. That, and I can tell you from experience, although as much fun as I have building out websites, sometimes you really have to stick to the plan, get that coming soon page out, and make sure that you are doing all the other things in your business as a solopreneur or small business owner that you can to increase your following and get your goals done, right? So have a plan and stick to it. The third one is about website platforms. And there are a ton of website platforms out there that it's just kind of crazy how many, I don't know, it's just, there's a lot of them out there. So what you want to do is choose the one that best fits your needs. Seriously, don't listen to a lot of the advice. You can take the advice into consideration when you are deciding, but at the end of the day, it's what you're most comfortable with. So as an example, my course is built for people who are building their site on Squarespace, because that is the bulk of my clients are either on Squarespace or they're switching over to Squarespace, but they're basically people who don't want to worry about keeping things updated, about having to worry about all these bells and whistles and things that they might not even need, but they have to keep in the back of their mind with something like a WordPress site. A WordPress site, though, is great if you are like the kind of person that wants to look under the hood and keep things updated, make sure things are backed up, all that, or you have the team to do it for you, and you want to make sure that you understand the capabilities. So for example, WordPress can be made, it's like Play-Doh really, it's a great platform. You can make it as big or as small of a site as you want. You can literally you can make your course within WordPress instead of having a third party. You can do all kinds of cool things. But that just means that you have to manage a bunch of stuff. If Squarespace is a very, very powerful tool, and you can customize the heck out of the site as well, but you want to make sure, is that drag and drop feature something I want, or do I have a developer on staff anyway that can make all my dreams come true? So maybe a WordPress site will work. If your site is a very basic e-commerce site, you don't need a blog, you don't need anything else, you just want the e-commerce site up and running, and you really have maybe, let's say, a bunch of different products. You'll want to probably go with Shopify because it's really easy to, relatively easy in my biased web designer opinion, to get up and running and upload your products and start selling, versus something like Squarespace, which is more for like less products, and you can build a lot more, like if you're going to have a nice blog in there, some services, more general type of site, that would be the site for you. So experiment, try to get a free trial on any of these so that you can test it out and see, do you really like this platform? Is it really hard for you to make changes and make it look the way you want? And then make a decision based on that. There are a lot more things that can go into a site, but ultimately, if you are a solopreneur, a small business owner, you want to make sure that you can go in there, make an edit to the site, and not have to call your developer at all times just to make a simple edit. Now, if that's what you want to do, give me a call, we can help you out. But I want you to understand that platforms, there's many of them out there. There's Squarespace, WordPress, Shopify, those are the main ones that I work with. There's Wix, Weebly. Wix is a little annoying for me, so I can refer you to someone who designs in Wix if you have that. But ultimately, you want to make sure that you can make the changes, that you're comfortable with the site, that you're comfortable with the platform. And yeah, because if you are not comfortable, you're going to end up hating building out the site. You're going to procrastinate and it's never going to get done. So to recap in no particular order, make sure that you have a plan, and that is a plan of attack for building out your website. This comes with a decision of, are you going to do a soft launch, a hard launch? And if you're doing a soft launch, which is in phases, what's going to come first, second, third, and what time frame? Same thing with your brand. Have a plan for your brand, have a plan for the website. That is tip number 1. Tip number 2 is to understand not just your user and the journey you want them to take on your site, but what kind of site are you even building? Are you, for the first full year of business, are you just going to be offering services, nothing else, and you're planning on adding courses later on? Well, maybe for the first year, you can have a really simple site on a very easy to use platform, and then you can make the decision on whether to rebuild the site and change it out. So make sure you understand the goal of your business, the goal of the site, and the goal for the user journey that you have. And finally, choose a platform that you are comfortable with, because if you don't, it's going to be horrible when you're building out your website and you realize, like for example, WordPress, you're building out your website and you realize you hate doing it, you hate updating it, you hate everything about it, but now you're stuck with it because you've already invested a month's worth of work into it, and you are not ready to just give up and find another platform. So make sure you get those trials, offers, anything like that, and then try to build out the site and see how comfortable you are with it. Do go on Google and look at reviews. Go on Google and see, or on YouTube and see how people are building it out, but do try it on your own as well. Because again, if you don't like the platform, you're probably going to procrastinate and you're never going to build out your website. Now, if you are stuck, make sure to leave a comment wherever you are listening to. Hit me up on Instagram at Robles Design Studio and message me your questions, or you can find me at roblesdesigns.com. You can also get the free checklist at roblesdesigns.com/checklist. And I am excited for you to be building it, to see what you build. So let me know how it's going with your website. And if you do need that little bit of extra help, make sure to go to the site and check out our Squarespace course. So with that, I hope you have a great day, and I will catch you in the next episode.